Hello everyone, happy Monday. Today is May the 13th. Hope everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. Today, on today's episode, I'm going to expand a little bit on what I was talking about on Friday. You know, your telephone numbers and your addresses are for sale on Google or any search engine. And I'm going to discuss that, how you can use that to your advantage if you so desire. It's actually not your personal phone number. It's actually just a script that puts every combination of numbers, you know, in the same format of a telephone number. I'm trying to articulate it, but basically puts it, you know, it's not your particular phone number, but if someone pays, then they can get your information, which is, you know, it's all public. But anyway, I'm going to go over that here in a minute. I actually recorded this about a year ago. There's going to be part 1 and part 2, and I will have, as usual, my commentary and how things have changed since then in a year since I first recorded this, or if they haven't in some cases. And yeah, so I'm going to get started here in just a second. You are listening to the Digipire podcast for Monday, May the 13th, 2019. If you would like resources and other notes that we did not mention on the podcast, you can do so at digipire.com/phone.
I do a lot of research. I mean, I think trying to figure out how others are doing something, or being aware of your surroundings when it comes to making money online or being a business person or whatever. You need to analyze the competition and find out what they're doing. And so one thing that I do when I'm talking about database sites today, throwing up a huge site with thousands and thousands of pages using a database and getting searches and traffic that way is kind of taking advantage of the low-hanging fruit, something that I talked about a couple weeks ago. Instead of trying to rank for a couple keywords that might or might not send you a lot of traffic, you rank for a bunch of keywords and you rank for it pretty easily. And how do you do that? You buy a domain, you build a website, and you pull data from a massive database. And I'm not going to get into how you do that. It's fairly simple enough to do, and you can hire someone to do it if you don't know how. It's easy to get someone to do it for you pretty inexpensively. So like I said, I'm not going to go into that. But what I am going to show you today is how I research and how I constantly am searching for ideas and how people are ranking or whatever. And database sites rank. They still do. They have for a long time. The game has changed a lot, but they still rank. And I keep a list of those database-driven sites in a research database that I have using Airtable. So I'm going to show you now. I'm going to type in I'm talking about telephone. I'm going to discuss a telephone database site that. So when you type in if you type in a phone number, there'll be a lot of pages show up. Okay, all of these pages are designed to get you to buy a service that will look up that phone number. And no one's immune. I mean, if you've ever given your phone number to a public entity, or like a utility company, a magazine, or whatever, it is in some database somewhere. And those people sell that information. So a big one that I use is Intellius, and there's not really a phone number that if you've had a phone number for any length of time, it's eventually going to show up in that database. And so, especially people that have had a phone number for a long time, and they have, for years and years and years, they're going to show up in a database. So I'm going to type in one of my phone numbers here, and I'm going to show you a website that I am interested in, that I'm going to find out what they're doing, get to the bottom, of how they're doing it. I'm going to analyze their link structure. I'm going to see how much traffic they're getting, and some very basic stuff right now as you follow me, and keeping in mind that these sites make money. All you got to do is throw some SEO at it, some search engine optimization, and you're going to get searches and traffic. So like I said, I'm going to type in one of my numbers here. And by the way, if you want to kind of escape this yourself, kind of stay out of databases, or if you want to maintain a level of privacy, a good thing to do is use Twilio and buy your number. Use a number for if you want to give it out to people that if you're on the dating scene and you want a temporary number or a throwaway number. Twilio is a good way to do that. You can design your own. This is kind of more advanced. I mean, there's apps that will do this too, but use a throwaway number. So you have a throwaway number for a business, you have a throwaway number for your personal life, and you can use parallel space or a combination of a lot of tools on your mobile phone, so you can kind of stay out of a lot of these public databases if you want to maintain a level of privacy. So you don't give your number out to you meet someone new, or you have a new project. You can kind of keep that number isolated there. So anyway, I'm going to type in a number. Here it is, and this is the one that I'm interested in down here. It's Nanny Boutique. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get my pointer here. Nanny Boutique, and nannyboutique.com doesn't look like it has anything to do with phone numbers, right? So I'm gonna click on it and see all these phone numbers in the. Hold on 1 second. Let me go back now, because they're very smart like that. But anyway, this Nanny Boutique is selling this reverse phone number lookup. So I'm going to see what affiliate. This is going to be an affiliate of somebody. This is going to be a website that's getting paid for every time someone buys this phone number lookup system. So I'm going to find out who these people are, who's selling, or who's their affiliate, who they are an affiliate of. Can't spit it out today. So I'm going to type this number in, and I'm going to figure out who they're an affiliate of. So it's Spokio, and Spokio has an affiliate program, and I've looked into it before. I don't know a lot about it, because like I said, I use Intellius a lot, and I use ClickBank products a lot. And so you have 75% commission. So anyway, they're using Spokio to monetize that site. So now I want to go back and do some search engine traffic. First, I want to find out what this Nanny Boutique used to be, because I can damn near guarantee you that no one's going to call a telephone site nanny/boutique.com. And why is that? Why are they using that domain? Because the older the domain is in Google, if it has a long history, they give that more rank or more authority in the search engine. So if you slap a database site, thousands and thousands of pages, on a brand new domain that you've never used, that's never been in the search engines, like xyz.info or something, then it's not going to have as much credibility as this nanny-boutique.com. So what people do is, and what I've actually done myself, continue to do, are buy these domains that have a longevity. They have backlinks. They have a link profile already in Google, so they have more authority. And people can tell you all day long that it needs to match this and do that, and all this crap basically. And you do have to mind Google's rules, and if you don't do this exactly right, the longevity of the domain is going to be short, because they're going to ban the domain. But a lot of these are burner domains. People slap them up, they buy them, they purchase them for cheap. They slap a database site on them, and they make money. Google finds out, they ban them, and they start all over again. So it's like a cat and mouse game. And you can say it's wrong, or whatever all you want to, but the fact is people are doing it. So I'm going to go and it's up to you whether you want to or not. And I probably shouldn't. No one really watches this stuff, so I'm not really telling any secrets. But I want to do a Wayback Machine on this nannyboutique.com and find out. I'm going to find out what it used to be. Okay, so I'm going to actually copy and paste it. I'm going to browse the history. So it's since 2013. So what was the site's deal back in the day? When did it start being a database site, right? So it looks like it was a German. Actually, it looks like it was a. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to, let's see, 2014. I'm gonna speed up time a little bit. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm going to go to 2017, see what was going on with it 2017. What I'm trying to do is figure out how long it took these people, how long it took this website to rank in Google. I mean, because it's obviously ranking for a number. It's the last result on the first page, but it's ranking. And I'm going to figure out in just a minute what keywords it's ranking for, and if it has any traction, backlink history, all that kind of stuff. So this is going to be like a very short video just to give you an idea of the endless possibilities that are out there, and why my head just spins, and why I have to focus on a few things at a time and write everything else down and probably never get to it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to find out what this site was about like a year ago, April the 20th, 2017. My computer will cooperate. So this still was and this time last year, this website was obviously not a phone number lookup site. So I'm gonna do something a little bit more recent. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna see, there's nothing in 2018. Let's see what it was in September. The latest result they have is September of 2017. So in 2017, it was still a nanny boutique. It was an agency that gives nannies employment opportunities, I suppose. So rest assured that it was not a reverse telephone number lookup site. So what these people have done is they've purchased this domain with, I'm guessing, a link profile and traction in the search engines. They've thrown up a script that creates telephone numbers dynamically, and they're obviously ranking for at least one phone number. So I'm going to find out. First of all, I'm going to find out how many sites are indexed, because the number of sites indexed in the search engine, say like if there's 5,000 pages indexed in the search. Anyway, the more pages that are indexed in the search engines, the more pages a domain has indexed in the search engines, the more traffic they typically get. It's not always the case, but the more traffic they typically get. So I'm going to type in site and nanny boutique and find out how many pages they have indexed, and they have over 6,000 web pages. And as you can see, they put up a database. They put up a telephone number at a database site. So they have a lot of pages indexed, and this is an old tactic, and you don't hear it talked about a lot. And if you don't hear something talked about a lot, that means that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people still don't know about it. So, yeah, they have a lot of pages indexed. I'm not going to go through all these, but I'm going to go into SEMrush. I'm going to put this domain in and find out. And remember, as late as September, this website or this domain, there's a difference between a website and a domain. This domain was a nanny boutique. It was a website selling nanny services. So that's as far back as I can go. I don't have anything from September till now. I can do some additional research and find out when the domain expired, when these people picked it up, and all that kind of thing. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this short. But I'm going to go into SEMrush and see what shows up there. And a lot of times, depending on how new or old the site is, it's not going to show up immediately. So this could underreport the amount of traffic they're getting, and sometimes overreport, depending on the time and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to put in the domain here and find out what kind of search engine traffic these people are getting. And so, yeah, they have, let's see, let me look, hold on a second. Just a second. Hold on just a second. So anyway, I put the domain in SEMrush, and this is what I have found. They have 104 keywords in Google. They're ranking for all these keywords in positions 1 through 13, and I can export all of these So I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to study their backlinks very quickly. Let me show you here. I'm going to just hold on a second. Just a second. So the anchors they have backlinks. They have 229 backlinks with the nannyboutique.com anchors. So they didn't do a lot of SEO on the website, especially not considering that now it's a telephone site. And here's some of their backlinks. I can export all those. Like I said, there's 291 follow links and 4 no follow links. And so, yeah. And this is they're ranking very well. And so the point I'm trying to make is these database sites are not dead. You can work Google and extract cash out of it if you have enough patience and enough get up and drive, and this is why you have to be a critical thinker and not just assume that it can't be done because it didn't work for someone else. Database sites are still alive and well. The strategy might be different, but you know what? Make money off of a website and then start over and gobble up as many of those expired domains with backlinks as you possibly can. Later, I'm going to discuss how I analyze a domain for maximum profit, how I study, what tools I use, what websites I use to study a website that I can put a database-driven website, a domain that I could put a database-driven website on. I'm going to discuss that at a later time, so if you want to subscribe or get on my email list or whatever, you can be notified when I do that. But there are very specific things that you can look for before you slap a database site on there. And don't be fooled to think that there's all kinds of database sites. I mean, there's so many out there that I mean, if I had thousands and thousands of views a day or a week or whatever, that there's still room enough for everyone. But I mean, my God, there's just so many opportunities out there that your head will literally spin. But these sites make money. Database sites are not dead. The strategies change a little bit. But yeah, that's it. Just do your homework. Keep as much research as you can. I keep all my research on an Airtable. So when you find something, write it down and get back to it later, and something might come to fruition. You just never know. So think critically, be out there, and just never, just keep moving on. Okay, that's all for today. Bye.
You are listening to the Digipire podcast for Monday, May the 13th, 2019. In the second segment, I discuss details on how you can do the same. I discuss resources and give you some guidelines on how you can reproduce this database site. And again, if you would like to if you'd like to get more details on the resources and just the links to what I'm talking about, you can do so at digipire.com/phone. Thank you.
Good morning, good evening, whenever you may be watching this. It may be Christmas time, might be Thanksgiving, might be 2 years from now, it might be 2020, and we have a new president or the same president or whatever's going on in your life. Hello. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, actually, and I told him that it would be nice if you could selectively delete, memories or people from your mind, much like you do a hard drive on a computer. And he said that, although you can't do that, you can replace those memories with new memories, and they kind of fade away into the past. And that really struck me because I think it's so true. I mean, although you can't delete memories, you can't delete selectively because it's what makes you who you are, and it makes you the person that you need to be for the next group of people that are going to be in your life. And so, although you can't selectively delete people or memories or circumstances or all that from your life or your mind, you can overwrite them. And overriding them is pretty cool, and it actually does work. So I think the goal in life is just to let people, circumstances, and things slip into the past. Don't chase people. Don't do any of that kind of thing, and just be yourself and let your life live your life, and let your future self overwrite your old self or whatever. I don't know. I'm being philosophical today. Anyway, today I am talking about the database sites, the phone sites. The phone sites, and how basically you type in a random search number. Or God, I have like a million things going on in my mind today. If you type in a phone number, and depending on how you even type it in, if you put the area code in parentheses or whatever, you put the number and the state, will depend on what pops up. So when you type in a search term, a phone number, people are selling you basically a reverse lookup, showing you the ability to look up that phone number and find out the name and address associated with it. So I've been doing that for a long time. I think since like 2009. Next year, 2019, will be the 10th year. And so I shied away from it for 2 or 3 years because the script that I had to make it was broken. I didn't know how to fix it, and that problem is being solved. And when I look at the opportunities out there, it just boggles my mind. So I ran into this website that basically is piggybacking off an expired domain, which is something that I used to do, which in turn is something that people told me, oh, that doesn't work anymore, that doesn't work anymore, that doesn't work anymore. And it's just not true. It might not have worked for a month or 2 months, but it works now, and it's worked for at least a few weeks. And it's worked this time last year too, actually. And I have found another website that is using that's piggybacking off an expired domain. I'm assuming. I haven't done the research, and I'm going to do that live here, and show you what's going on with this site. So this domain is called brotherjohnhostick.info, and .info usually it's very difficult to rank for anything with the .info. But the beauty about phone numbers and things like that, there are so many millions of combinations that you can just rank for. It's like throwing a net, casting a wide net into a, how do you say that? Anyway, you're basically taking advantage of low-hanging fruit. So there's millions of keywords. You don't have to rank for just one or two. There's not a lot of competition. I mean, for the millions of combinations, I mean, people are typing in, different combinations all day long, every day, 24 hours a day. It's just mind-boggling, like I said. So anyway, I keep all my research in an Airtable. I keep all my electronic, my empire, my digital empire, my digipire, separate from my e-commerce activities, and I have like a feed. I have experiment. I have campaigns I'm running, projects, builder buy. I have it broken down and to have issues, which I've been keeping my issues in here a lot more than I have been in the past. But anyway, I have a research column that, so when I find something, I can research it and keep tabs on it and learn from that. So I keep it in Airtable, and I also keep it in Memento because Memento is easier to put data in than this Airtable at the time. So anyway, I'm going to show you this domain, and I'm going to do just a little bit of research. First of all, I'm going to do a reverse background, a way back. I'm going to find out what the deal was with this, because I'm assuming that it's an expired domain, but I'm not actually sure. So it might have a lot to do with reverse telephone site lookups, even though the words in the domain don't match up, don't signify that, or doesn't look like it is. So it looks like it does. It is an old domain. It looks like even back from 2009. So I'm going to find out what was going on with it in 2017. And the reason people buy expired domains is because they can piggyback or take advantage of the link juice that site has. And Google gives more authority and more credit and ranks. It will give to get your keywords in the search engines based on the age of the domain and how many inbound and outbound links that domain has. So I'm going to look and see if this September 16th, 2017 looks like nothing that didn't have like an active site. It probably was a landing page for see what was going on with it in 2016 in October. Come on. So it was a landing page in 2016. I'm trying to find out how far I need to go back before there's any, as an actual domain. So this has not been an active domain for a few years, and they're ranking off of, they're using this website unrelated to telephone number searches, reverse lookups, to rank for these phone numbers, and it hasn't been active. It looks like since I checked 2015. In August of 2015, I'm going to look for that. So anyway, I think it's safe to say that this domain has not been used any as a website in quite a long time. So it hasn't had any active inbound and outbound links. It hasn't had any active SEO work or anything like that. I think it's safe to say that. So I'm going to go to SEMrush and see what kind of search engine traffic that it gets. And just because things don't show up in SEMrush does not mean that it's not getting traffic. and if it shows up like a lot of activity, there could be a lot more traffic than is actually showing up in SEMrush, because I know that firsthand, because I've had domains that get 5,000 visitors a month or several a day or 2 or 3 a day, and it not indicate that in SEMrush. It looks like it's not getting anything, but it does do a pretty good job of keeping track of the backlinks and all that kind of stuff. So I'm interested to see what's going on here. So they have some organic traffic already, and their positions are not too bad. The higher up on the page that you are in Google, of course, the more traffic you get, and they have some numbers that they're ranking for on the first page, but it's still very interesting. So I am going to find out when they registered this, because like I said, this stupid cat. I love the kitty, but she gets on my nerves. I'm gonna find out when they registered this domain, because I'm gonna see I didn't check the backlinks, but it has some, and none of them are related to phone sites. I mean, dollar PayPal moneymaker is not related to it. Oh, it's not working. So it's registered in France, and I will tell you that they're promoting. Actually, I'm not going to go over. You can figure that out for yourself. But I'm going to see what the it was registered. It was registered fairly recently, like 18 days old, and they already have search engine traffic. So that tells me that something is going on, and there is a lot there's just a lot, something's going on. So just another example, and that's kind of like the whole point of my video. Another example of you can't always believe what you hear. You can't always take anyone's word as a gospel. I take no one's word as a gospel. I don't care how smart they think they are, how smart other people think they are. I don't take anyone's word as the absolute gospel, and this is the way it is, blah, 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 blah. Because life changes every day. It changes every minute. The world changes every day. It changes every minute. And sometimes things just are not as they seem. So, yeah, your phone numbers and your information are for sale. People are making money off of your phone numbers and your first and last name even. And that's just the way it is. And Google, I'm sure, has tried to stop it through the years. Like I said, I first started doing it 9 years ago. And it looks like either they gave up or something. I'm not sure why. But there's these little loopholes that you can take advantage of to bring as much organic search engine traffic as you possibly can. And that's where the money is, as in organic search engine traffic that you don't have to pay for. So that's it. Yeah, so that's it. I'm not going to go through the spiel, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff, because if you want to, you will. If you don't, you don't. I'm just not in the mood to do it right now. So, okay, bye.
Okay, that's the conclusion of segment 2 of your phone number and address are for sale. As you plainly can see, that is actually not the case. Your phone number is made up of 3 parts, and I use a script to display those 3 parts, random numbers basically, using information that's publicly available on the internet. And as far as the addresses are concerned, that is also public information, and I use a database or a script to jumble all those numbers together. And also in segment 2, you discovered some of the research that I shared with you. You can look at all of my show notes, all of my findings, all of my research, and some of the resources for you to basically copy this or or whatever you want to do, you can do that and find that at digipire.com/phone. Until next time, this has been episode 4 of the Digipire podcast. Goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your week, or enjoy the rest of your Monday. Sorry. Bye-bye.